What is up, everybody? It's me, your guru, and the title may have led you to believe that I'm not a fan of Harry Potter. I'm a huge fan. It's my favorite theme right now. On top of that, I believe that it is the best theme objectively. It's a pioneer in everything. Minifigures, it's made multiple new hair and hat molds. It, if I'm not mistaken, is the first thing, or the way they debuted the new third minifigure legs, the mid leg. Also, the prints are incredible that they're doing. Shoe mold or shoe printing, like who would have thought we'd ever gotten that? On top of that, it's a pioneer in sets in terms of exterior. Every set they do, in my opinion, knocks it out of the park. No matter if it's a building like the Hogwarts castles, which is a whole nother thing. Those things just look stunning. Absolutely incredible. I wish I would spend $1,000 on Hogwarts castles. They look that good. And then in terms of small builds, like the Rise of Voldemort set, stunning. I mean, it just represents that so well, in my opinion. And then in terms of interiors, it's great. Like, it's a pioneer in that too. It has like Easter eggs, and it looks incredible on top of representing well what it's trying to represent. I'd love to see like the Pirates of the Caribbean line be remade in a Harry Potter style. Obviously not Harry Potter, but like be remade with these new building techniques and these incredible interiors and all that. I just love to see these old themes that existed in a simpler time be remade with what Harry Potter is doing. So with that being said, I feel, like I said, it's a pioneer. I love it, but I do think that there's one problem. And that big thing is, I think they should have done, in order, this series. I think there should have been 8 years worth of Harry Potter, at least. And each year corresponds to a year in the movie. I think that this could have helped in many ways. Starting with the castle, it would have been cool to see certain things come in when they come in, because the castle does change throughout the movies. For example, the clock tower isn't there in years 1 and 2, so for year 3, adding the clock tower would be like the big thing. Same with the astronomy tower, that would have to wait till year 6 when they finally add the astronomy tower, or the big, like where they do the final battle. I forget what it's called exactly, but that big area has a lot of potential for a set to be added on. That could have been year 7, or year 8, my bad. So in terms of the castle, that potential's there. Also for the community, it's there, because if you think about it, it would create more traction, because there's more of a place to make like videos and Instagram posts about what's coming this next year, and easier to speculate. When the whole entire universe is in front of you, you're kind of lost, and then you may not want to make a video. But if you know that these are the terms under which the sets are going to come out, so these sets are going to be based around year 3, you're more likely to watch year 3, get ideas from it, and make a video. There's more traction for Lego. So yeah, in terms of Lego and the community, it would have been better. Also, I feel that we have a bit more, vision in terms of what's going on, right? Because there's so many characters that haven't been made, like Rita Skeeter, a bunch of people from like the year 7, like the new Ministry of Magic, Luna Lovegood's dad. The list could go on. The amount of professors that haven't been made. All these people haven't been made in Lego, and we don't know if we're ever going to even see them. Speaking of, if you're watching this, I'm announcing here that my next series is going to be Harry Potter CMF. That's way down the line. Obviously, we're still in phase 1 of the MCU, and I'm doing every MCU movie. But just so you know, if you're here, there's that for you. But with that being said, I just think that we don't really know if we're going to get these super iconic characters or not. We just know that we are going to get another 20 Harry Potters, but like, we don't know where we're going, is what I'm trying to say. Now you're probably thinking, well, that's not too many sets. Or you're thinking it's too many sets. Doing the quick calculations, I would say about 8 sets a year come out. Or 8 sets can come out. That would mean over 8 years would be 64 sets, which may sound like a lot, but Star Wars releases that in 1 year. 1 year they released 69 sets. Granted, not all of them were sets, but about 25 of them were sets. That means that in a little over 2 years, Star Wars releases the amount of sets that Harry Potter released in 8, which is why I think they could even bump it up to 9 or 10 sets a year. On top of that, the line doesn't have to end there. You can create sets based around things that didn't happen in the book, but in the movie, or things that happened in the book, but not in the movie, but do it in the movie style. So, if a character does make a quick appearance in the movie, but doesn't have anything substantial. But in the book, there's something substantial. You can make a set around that. I think there's a lot of potential, just like with Marvel Comics. We get these MCU sets in the game, but sometimes they'll like to dip their feet in some comic stuff. But it's usually still based in the MCU, so they're not going to go and do some Inhumans from the comic set. They do an Iron Man from the comic set. I feel they could do something similar with Harry Potter. Take it from the book, but do it in the movie style so it's all cohesive. There's an easy way to go on from year 8. Also, Fantastic Beasts sets, obviously. On top of that, there's just so much potential. I don't know. I just feel that it would have been better if we would have gotten that, in year fashion rather than just kind of randomly releasing. And I thought that's what they were doing in the beginning, because they kind of do somewhat follow that. Like, we're only now getting our main characters with like the regular legs, so like they are taking their time, I guess, but it just is a bit jumbled. I feel like they kind of want to do this and that, but instead of just being patient and planning out the future and thinking we can do this here, and this here, let's do this now, and this now, they're just kind of saying like, ooh, the astronomy tower is pretty cool. I know we've only been doing this for 3 years, and I know it doesn't come till year 6, but whatever, let's do it. Like, I just don't think they have a clear vision, and they're kind of losing it. And I feel that they would have had a clearer vision and a better way to do this had they stuck to a more structure, a more, ingrained structure, that being doing it yearly. Because, again, I just feel like we're going to still be getting sets with mid-legs and short legs when they realize that they missed a potential set there. And we're going to get that in year 8, which, again, when you think about it in 8 years, when this line is over or whatever, I don't want it to end, but when it eventually does, this video will be kind of irrelevant. But for living in the time and living through it right now and experiencing it, it is just a bit like, what's going to happen next? Where do we go from here? And also, I feel that they're definitely running out of ideas with the castle, which makes me scared. I'd prefer it to be about 6 or 7 parts, but they're pretty much on 3 solid parts, as being Clock Tower Astronomy and Great Hall, with the Whomping Willow and Room of Requirement expansions. I just feel like they're running out of ideas for these castles, which scares me. Again, I prefer it to be bigger and cooler, but I don't know. I can come up with ideas, and you know what? I think I'm just gonna, off the top of my head, come up with a couple for you from each year. I'll try, starting with year 1. You could easily do the Diagon Alley. I know that they're doing that now, but that's a possibility. Also, the obvious one, which is the 3 trials, where with the keys, the dog, the obviously the confrontation with Voldemort, and you could also do I forget what they're called, the black things that you have to calm down for them to let you go. You could easily do that. That's an obvious one. You could do more stuff with the you could have done Fort Privet Drive there. They're doing that now, but that was an obvious one. So there's just a couple off the top of my head. Again, if I probably really thought about it, I can cut them up with more. Chamber of Secrets. You could obviously do the Chamber of Secrets itself. Number 3, you got the Shrieking Shack, or you could do a Whomping Willow Shrieking Shack kind of thing, or you could do the part outside of the clock tower with those like stones, and you could do that with Hagrid's hut. I don't know. Year 4, the Goblet of Fire. Obviously, you could do the maze or the Mer People trial. Any of that works. Year 5, you could have done a Ministry of Magic final battle type thing. Year 6, you could have done the room where like Dumbledore has to drink the potion. Also, the astronomy tower would have fit better here, to be honest. Year 7 they haven't gotten to, so I won't talk about year 7 yet, part 1 or part 2. But obviously there's stuff you could easily do for that. Point is, there's a lot of stuff you could do, and you could easily fill each year with 8 sets from a movie. There are definitely 8 events or places that could be represented in Lego. So yeah, that's my quick rant. This is just a thought I have. Honestly, I'm perfectly fine with what they're doing now, and as long as they keep up what they're doing, I'm perfectly happy. And yeah, thank you for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.